Hello,
Nathan,
you need to go high. You need to go high.
No, you don't need to go high if you live on a bloody sphere. It's a sphere from my feet in every single direction. That sphere should become more pronounced with altitude. You should see more sphere when you get on a commercial airline. Same problem. Conceded on both sides. You don't see any sphere even if you go high. Big problem if you're on a sphere.
You do, though. Debbie and Chemo were sharing it last night.
No, you do not.
Both
I've done enough international travel, man who's probably never left the UK, to know unequivocally you do not see any curvature from a commercial airline ever.
This is another lie.
Not a lie. I've done plenty of commercial air travel. I know unequivocally. If you don't believe me, I couldn't give a crap. Anybody who's done plenty of international travel on plenty of airliners will tell you you can't see curve. And they assert it on the bald side. You have to be higher than a commercial airliner according to your side of the argument.
A bit higher than a
Supposedly the Concorde would fly high enough to see curvature, but those
shame we can't go on one, eh? Shame we can't go on one.
I got a really good example here if anyone's interested. Like, this is a really, like, for example, like if we look really far away from this dish I have right here, right? It looks kind of circular, but like when you get up close to it, you see a bunch of little ridges and stuff like that.
Oh, that's brilliant.
When we look far away, it looks like a circle. So it's all a matter of perspective, right?
Oh,
so
that's a matter of resolution.
Thanks, Wiggles.
Right. See,
Hey, Nummy, what do you think on Nathan's screen right now? What do you think the left to right distance is on that photo, on this video?
Every photo ever taken ever should be able to demonstrate that you live on a sphere. Doesn't matter how small the distance is. If there's a curve, there's a curve. End of story.
Are you mental?
Not mental. Fact.
I can take a photo of my carpet now. That's not going to show curvature, is it?
I heard
Pontchartrain
photo. What was Nummy? Nummy, what was your one? Left to right on that side.
Don, I think you know what he means.
Am I not coming through?
It's a lie. What, his statement is a lie.
I would just be guessing.
Yeah, but you know what he means. Like,
you just don't understand.
He's being intentionally obtruse.
When he's saying every picture taken, he's not talking about a picture you take of your carpet. Like,
So why
it's
did
just
he say
ridiculous.
every picture ever taken then? That's not what he meant.
Come on,
Lie.
Don.
Oh, come on, Dawn.
Okay,
Come on,
I have
Don.
a-
You can't be that dense, man.
See,
Come
he
on.
just doesn't
on
understand.
purpose.
Hey, can I
stupid
just hear a
question. Can I ask a
few more
stupid question?
estimations? Is there anyone willing to throw a few estimations out on how far the left-right distance is on Nathan's photo right
We don't
now?
have
Yes,
this.
my guess is
We
about
have to
10
have more
kilometers.
information.
My guess on the left to right distance on Nathan's photo right now, my guess is on the order of 10 kilometers, anywhere from 1 to 1,000 kilometers for sure.
And do you think curvature should be visible left to right?
I don't think we're looking at enough of the surface of the Earth to see the curvature.
Thank you.
It depends on how far you can actually see. If there is
Now, I'm
any
going to give you a fact which you can look up. Right? The
inclarities, then you cannot
ISS, as
see
high as
that
it is,
far.
that thing is about 400 kilometers in the air, I think, 400 kilometers high above the surface of the Earth. And that
Yes,
thing,
I agree.
Says who?
it can only see approximately 3% of the
Sorry,
surface
who
of the
says
Earth,
it's that
even
high?
from that height.
Who says it's that
From
high?
this height, from the surface height,
I
you
have
can
a really
see
Sorry,
stupid question. I
hold
wanna
on.
ask.
Random
all
fact
of the
been
surface
thrown
of the
out.
Earth,
Who
really. It's
says the
negligible.
ISS is that high?
What's that?
Who says it's that high? Have you been up and checked it's that high? Have you travelled to it? Have you taken a tape measure? How do you know this nonsense?
This is what they quote.
Why would they lie about the height?
So, hold
Why
on.
would
Why
they
would they
lie?
lie? I haven't even cited who they are or what they have told us. Where do we get this height from?
Why would NASA lie about the height?
Hold on. So it's NASA. So we got this
Didn't
information
you
from
just
NASA.
say that you have a credibility problem with NASA?
Yeah, but I'm asking you to justify why they would lie about the height of the ISS. To make it
Why
fit
would they
no
lie
matter.
about anything?
I have a stupid question I want to ask.
I want to hear a
Okay.
stupid question.
Okay, it's a stupid question. Okay, we're arguing about the horizon having no curve, but we're looking at Pontchartrain that has observable curve, and that's not 69 miles.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
come on.
16 or something.
Yeah,
but you
and
don't
look at the curve.
understand that we're
Yeah,
looking
it's a different
forward.
axis. It's a different axis, so it's different.
It's
Right. So if you were to get alongside those pylons and look on the x-axis, you would expect to see the same demonstrable
No,
curvature
Nathan, no.
Yes,
now,
we did this
wouldn't
with
you, lads?
Orthodox. We did this with
Isn't that right,
Orthodox,
lads?
and he-
So, now do the morons understand what we mean when we say we want x-axis curvature? So when you show pylons going over a curve and claim it's because Earth's curved, we want to see the same curve on the x-axis.
Then
Got it
go
now,
to
lads?
50,000
You got it?
feet.
Sinking
We
in?
don't shall save.
Sinking
the
in,
day.
is it?
Okay, so I'm going to define you a spherical coordinate system. So we have like our, usually we have regular Euclidean coordinates. So we have like, oh, I can't really, is that backwards? I can't even see, it doesn't matter. So you have like an X and then a Y, and then you have a Z, right? That's like usually how we identify points in space. But you can also use like angles like that. So you can have like a theta like that, a theta like that, and a theta like that. These are spherical coordinates, so I always forget the names of them. Like one of them is like phi, one of them is theta, whatever. But and then when you have a sphere, like right, this is really poorly. This is like ad hoc explanation here, but like say you're standing right here on the surface of the Earth. You can go like in a geodesic along that way, or like there's a geodesic that way, or there's a geodesic that way. It's like it's all the same, right? Like you can go any direction across the surface of the Earth.
Well, geez, thanks for enlightening us.
Yeah, whoa, man.
This
Brain shock.
looks very much like you're
Hold on, he might have a
R
point.
here.
Hold on. Have you got something to add to that, or was that it?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to tell you what a geodesic was.
Oh, geez, thanks.
Thanks.
Never heard
That's
it before.
brilliant, Wiggles. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, where would we be without Wiggles?
Good job we got that down.
You'd
He's
be on a
he's
flat
arguing
Earth
for-
without me. You'd be
he's
lost
arguing-
on your flat Earth.
Are you arguing that we're supposed to see x-axis curvature because
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
What do you mean by
if we're on a
x-axis
sphere,
curvature?
yeah,
Left
we
to right,
should see
left
it
to right when
curving,
looking at the
Dawn.
Dawn,
That's right.
shouldn't
You gotta get like
Shouldn't
really
you be able
high
to
altitude to see that. Like I think like 40,000 feet to
If
something
you
like
have
that.
to do
Right.
it for the x-axis, you have to do it for the y. You
No,
can't
that's
argue.
not-
No,
not
the
true.
one that
That's
goes
a
away
lie.
from you, you're seeing it indirectly. The
That's-
one
Isn't
that
it
goes
all
left, you're
going
seeing
away
it
from you, though?
directly.
That's you misunderstanding.
I shall
Isn't it
Yeah,
all
we just
going
don't
away from
understand
you
it, do
on
we?
a sphere?
We don't
have
understand
ears
it.
to listen,
We
shall-
don't understand it at all. We don't understand that when we look down the line of the curvature along the y-axis, of course, we can see the curve obstructing things in the distance. Not the perspective does that. That's just nonsense, you liars. Yeah, we get it. The curve blocks our view of stuff when we look down the y-axis. But when we look down the x-axis, the Earth's just too big. Just way too big. Right? Is that correct?
Sorry, Nathan, I wasn't listening. What?
So we look down the y-axis and see the Earth curve obstructing
What do
things
you
in the
call the
distance.
y-axis?
When we look down the y-axis, we see things obscuring our view.
You're using non-standard like language.
Y as in
You mean
into
the
the
horizon?
distance.
Sorry, is this the most pedantic panel we've ever had to date? We look
Oh, yeah,
out
of course.
in doing our observation of things in the distance, and we see Earth curve obscuring our view. Let's not worry about what we label that. We look out into the distance, and apparently we see curvature obscuring our view of things in the distance. Yet, when we go adjacent to it 90 degrees and look down a different axis, we see no curvature whatsoever.
That's
I
how
agree.
it's supposed to be on a sphere, Nathan.
No. On a sphere, it needs to curve away from you in every single direction. From your feet, every direction. If you are on a sphere, Dawn. That is called cognitive dissonance.
No,
Yeah, that's called being a moron. If you think that you should look out into the distance and see curvature blocking your view, but when you turn your head left and right you shouldn't see curvature, that makes you stupid.
no.
Yeah, that makes you retarded. That makes you somebody who is stuck in cognitive dissonance and has listened too long and too hard to too many globe heads arguing that you can see things being obscured by curvature, but you can't turn your head and see curvature. That makes
Yes,
you
that's
a
correct.
moron.
That's how a sphere works.
Dawn, you understand how ridiculous that sounds?
It's true though. That's
You're really
You're
no. I'm being serious, bro.
If you're
You're
not
really
purposely
making yourself sound
misunderstanding
stupid,
I'd look into it, mate. If you're not purposely misunderstanding,
dude.
Yeah, look
I
into
don't
that
think you
invisible x-axis
understand.
curvature, man. That invisible x-axis curvature that doesn't apply to the sphere from ground level. That makes perfect sense. We should all look into this nonsense because, of course, it makes total sense. Dawn's asserted it, and it must make sense because Dawn's asserted it. Right? Yeah? No, I don't think so. If you're on a sphere, it's a sphere. It curves in every direction, and it should be detectable and
This is
demonstrable.
embarrassing conflation.
Not
Yeah,
conflation.
like,
Very embarrassing.
You're on a
By
sphere.
you.
You're on a sphere.
We've seen it modeled. You're gonna see curvature on both axes.
No, no,
Right.
no. Don't
Oh.
trust the crystal model.
This is the one you
Dawn,
see.
you're
direct.
crazy, bro.
No
Don't
scientist.
need to see
So
Chris's
what do you
model.
think
Just go and
Chris
get yourself a
did with
ball.
his model? You think
Just go and grab a ball or anything spherical.
You just agreed, right?
He
Nummy,
plays with
you
it
were
till it
right
fits
there
the
and you
fire
just
narrative. That's what he
agreed
does, mate.
that you should see 69
Started-
miles 1 degree. Right? You just agreed that. You just said to me that, like, if you could observe an x-axis from 69 miles from left to right to see 1 degree of curvature, that would be a good experiment.
It's
You
about
agreed
field
with
of
it.
view. You can
You
see
agree-
like into the distance.
Oh,
Dawn.
really? So when we look at Soundly's observations at about 16 miles, we can throw them out the window then. Just not enough distance, right?
The curvature of the Earth is really easy to measure. It's just 1 over radius. It's the same everywhere.
Oh, sorry. 1 over
Go ahead,
radius.
Nathan.
Radius,
The
you
radius
say?
of the Earth is about 6,000 kilometers.
And where did you get that value from?
Oh,
I measured it
Jesus.
myself.
How did you measure it?
You did?
Do you have the patience for me to explain this to you, Nathan?
Yeah.
We have been
Oh.
waiting for someone to explain R, so yes, we have all the patience in the world. You're
Well,
on
I
right
mean,
now.
I'm wondering if Nathan has the patience for me to explain, because it's gonna
You're
take
actually
like at
gonna
least
get
an
to it,
hour to
so-
explain how I did it.
Can we get the Cliff Notes version?
We don't want to
No,
know how you did it. We want to know how you. Okay, whatever. An hour. It shouldn't take that long. Just do it, dude.
Okay, so it's really hard to set up.
Ha, like Nummy's video, can't do it in 30 seconds, has to take an hour.
Yeah, if I can't do it in 30 seconds, like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, it takes time to do things. Like, you need to learn the art of patience.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that if some points take longer than others to make, it's fine.
Yeah,
So I got
we've been
I
waiting
had
for
to put a
500 years.
webcam in my
for
mouth.
nobody.
Hey, we're getting like the view of a mathematician here. This is a mathematician engineer view, bird's eye. This is like first person. Here's what we do all day. So, I got a circle.
Oracle? What?
I'm sorry, I'm putting the webcam in my teeth.
Wait,
so
are
that
you
I can
gonna
point it at
prove
the
R
paper.
using math?
Yeah, oh, I could hear a circle. Like a
Wow.
circle.
Oh man.
Fuck,
Is this being
You're not-
recorded?
Yeah.
I think you should take the webcam out of your mouth because it's not going to help. It's just not.
No, I could set it up the other way like I have, but that's just too much effort.
I could talk like this the whole time, but it might not make the point there.
I just
Yeah,
said-
this is a problem. I'll try to talk as best I can with the webcam on. So,
Nummy,
like,
that was the most sense I've ever heard you make.
Come on, guys,
He's really
come on.
talking with this thing in his mouth.
yeah, so like, here I drew an arc here, and then this is an angle. Oh, I can just
Oh.
hold it in
Yeah,
one
please
hand.
make it stop. Please make it stop.
So I realized I thought I needed 2 hands to do this, so I can do it with 1 hand, right? So, this is theta, right? And then like so suppose you're an observer at this point here, and then you got another observer at this point here. Like they can see each other because there's a straight line, right? Like this is the circle is the Earth, and this straight line is their line of sight.
So just to clarify then, so we are already assuming that we are on a sphere as you make this calculation. Is that correct, Wiggles? You've just said this is the Earth and it is sphere-shaped, correct?
Nathan, you need to have some patience, my friend.
Sorry, just answer my question. Are you
Okay.
saying that the diagram you have just drawn of the Earth and it is a sphere that depicts the Earth, correct?
No, this just depicts the circle.
Sorry, so you are working out a calculation on a circle.
Okay, so Nathan, I'm going to explain to you like one of the fundamental ideas of science, and one of the ideas of science is like this is what some guy in the 50s came out with. He thought like, okay, if we're going to do science, guys, maybe we should, because like the reality isn't math as far as we know. Well, that's a big philosophical debate. But what they do is they take hypotheses and they go out and they try to prove them wrong, right? Like, for example, I have a pencil here.
Yeah,
and now
Look,
I might hypothesize
Wiggles,
that
Wiggles, Wiggles. I don't need to know about your
so I might
pencil.
bang it on the desk.
Wiggles, Wiggles. In terms of your
always
measurement
so
that you're about to tell
I
us
try to
about.
crack it in half with my
Yeah,
hand.
Wiggles,
really,
I don't need to hear it. I
really
just need an
muscling
answer to
in
my
trying to crack
question.
it. So it's
Wiggles,
solid. It's a
try to
solid
pay
piece of
attention to
thing.
me
Wiggles,
without being a
Wiggles.
condescending prick.
Wiggles.
Try and listen.
The-
Shut your mouth. Answer my question. The measurement that you make, will you presuppose that you're on a sphere when you make this measurement?
No.
Right, so why have we got a picture of a circle then? What's the circle referring to?
You're asking like again. That's why I said it needs to take an hour. It needs some patience.
You see, you said if you have a person standing at this point, and then you drew someone on the other side of a curve and said if you have someone standing on this point. So I'm going to assert now that you are presupposing that they are on a sphere Earth to begin with. Am I wrong in that?
I don't assume anything. I just go to the beach and I look.
So why, if you're not assuming anything, have you drawn somebody on a curve away from the other person? Why would you draw that if you're not assuming anything?
Hello, I'm back.
Well, do you want me to draw a flat thing or do you want me to draw a circle? It's up to you.
Wiggles.
No, I thought
no.
you
You're
actually
trying
could
to prove to us a measurement that gives us radius, but you're already starting with something that is circular.
Well, I mean, I can sum it up in 0 seconds in my head because I know how I did it, but like it might take more seconds to explain it. I'm not a very good explainer, especially not to people who don't know geometry.
Geometry would automatically assume that you're dealing with something spherical, would it not?
Sorry, Nathan, what? Sorry, I didn't catch it.
Would it not assume that you are dealing with something that requires geometry?
Yeah, you need a bit of geometry background to kind of like understand how to measure the radius of the Earth.
Oh, right. So you were automatically assuming that you have a radius to measure then?
You can't prove something by using
you've got me there, Nathan.
Oh, I've got you, have I, fuckwit? Yes, I have. You are presupposing the sphere because you are quite literally a moron. Yeah? Didn't take long to debunk that absolute pile of crap proof of R now, did it, Wiggles, you complete dumbass? Well done for making yourself look like more of a moron than you had already. Well done with your crap example and your absolute shite proof of R. And with that, I'm going to say first and foremost a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully for sharing this debate. If you hated this show, you know what to do. But if you liked it, smash the like button. Consider sharing it and subscribe if you've not done so already. Also, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!